It's been excruciating across the north, and that really uncomfortable record-setting heat is going to continue day and night. Even International Falls in Minnesota hit 98 degrees on Friday. That city is known as the icebox of the nation. Now, these temperatures on Sunday are hot, but they're actually an improvement over Friday and Saturday. Still at 94 in Minneapolis, your average high is 76. Then check out Monday and Tuesday, Green Bay 91, your average high is 74. Boston 94, your average high is 73. But it's not just these daytime highs. It's going to be really uncomfortable into the overnight hours. And in fact, we're going to be setting a lot of record warm lows, many places in the 70s. So you're just not getting a chance to cool off at night. Now, as we look down the line, it looks like in many places that heat is likely to stick around and likely much above average for many of you. Sure, many of you are tired of the rain in the south, but we have more to come. This big red L represents where we have a slow moving upper level low that will continue to feed Gulf moisture into areas that are already oversaturated. And because of that, we will continue to see more rain and potential flooding in the coming days. Here's where we have flood warnings and flood watches in place. And we will be watching rounds of rain day after day as we go through the week. And it doesn't mean you're going to see rain constantly. You'll see these showers coming in and out and thunderstorms popping up throughout the afternoon and the evening. When we look at the excessive rain outlook, to me, that gives me an idea of where you're going to see the greatest risk for flooding. So that'll shift a bit on Sunday from Houston, Lake Charles, a bit more to the right and northward, New Orleans, Jackson, and Mobile, later on in the day on Sunday. And in fact, I think the general trend throughout the week will be gradually you'll see more of this rainfall sliding a bit more to the east, but you can see it will tally up, so please be careful out there. Storms for some and miserable heat for others. Check out that 101 in Bismarck. And it was even worse on Friday. They hit 106. Now, it won't be quite that bad in other areas, but it is still going to be really hot across much of the north in the coming days. And while the north deals with heat, across parts of the south and the southeast, you will have wet weather. In fact, we'll be watching for thunderstorm action and potential flooding. We'll see more of this sliding a bit more to the north as we go on into Monday. And we are still hanging on to some heat, but that rain will cool it off in some places. Then very dry and notice cooler weather coming in across the west. Maybe a little bit of rain coming into the northwest on Tuesday. We'll be watching the east and the central part of the country for more scattered showers and storms. And as we move into Wednesday, pretty much more of the same thing, but notice those temperatures are coming down a bit. Chicago 80s instead of...
This is just moments ago. This shows you the shelf cloud as it's moving in over Coney Island.
That is just amazing. Look at that.
This angle reminds me of almost like on the front of a train. The
Whoa.
Cow catchers.
Wow. Look at the whale's mouth there. You see that?
Yeah.
That's that warm air that's being forced up over top of the cool air, which comes in like a dome. And, I mean, you could see that just as plain as day as it came right by the camera. That is a remarkable time lapse there.
I've already asked all Utahns to conserve water by avoiding long showers, fixing leaky faucets, and planting water-wise landscapes. But I fear those efforts alone won't be enough to protect us. Please join me and Utahns, regardless of religious affiliation, in a weekend of humble prayer for rain.
This burning tree shows just how bad California's drought really is. Fire crews think it's been smoldering in Big Basin State Park since last summer. Now, the CZU complex fire, it broke out back in August of 2020, and it burned about 97% of the park. Now, typically winter rainstorms will put out embers that hang around after a major wildfire, but this year's stingy storms just didn't cut it. So reignition fires have been popping up in the CZU burn area since at least January. Now, historians documented reignition fires in Big Basin back in the early 1900s, but a California state park scientist says that biologists on the job right now have never seen the phenomenon for themselves. And with the entire state in some level of drought, sites like this might be more frightening than fascinating.
More than 32 million homes along the East Coast and Gulf Coast could be exposed to impacts in the 2021 hurricane season, according to a new report by CoreLogic Inc., a global property analytics firm. The report noted that the at-risk properties total replacement.
Many of you are tired of the rain in the south, but we have more to come. This big red L represents where we have a slow moving upper level low.
More than 32 million homes along the East Coast and Gulf Coast could be exposed to impacts in the 2021 hurricane season, according to a new report by CoreLogic Inc., a global property analytics firm. The report noted that the at-risk properties total replacement cost value came to $8.5 trillion. Storm surge damage risk is less than hurricane wind damage risk, but still significant. CoreLogic found coastal property worth approximately $1.9 trillion was vulnerable to storm surge damage this year. Hurricane wind damage can be more impactful because it stretches over a wider area, pushing further inland. Property in the New York metropolitan area carries the biggest financial exposure at $1.7 trillion. Florida comes in second, with 6 out of its cities in the highest risk. Rising seas have taken a toll on Miami, and as flooding worsens, the race is on to find a solution. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is proposing building a 20-foot-high seawall to protect the city. It'd be 6 miles long, cost about $8 billion, and cut right across Biscayne Bay. That's not sitting well with everyone. Developers fear it would lower property values, and environmentalists fear it would harm the bay. The wall is simply a tentative proposal at this point, and the plan is still 5 years off. But as hurricanes become more frequent and intense, and sunny day flooding becomes a more regular occurrence, a solution is needed sooner rather than later. Beach's Bolsa Chica wetlands in Southern California is a favorite nesting spot of terns. But this year, the terns abandoned the island where thousands of eggs were preparing to hatch. It's believed the birds mistook drones as predators and fled, leaving the unhatched eggs behind. As a result, those thousands of hatchlings likely perished. A veteran wildlife monitor for the California Department of Fish and Game said he had never seen such a massive abandonment of eggs before. The situation is both ironic and tragic because it is likely the drone owner's interest in the nesting birds is what caused the devastating loss. The Wetlands Reserve has seen a major uptick in visitors over the last year, likely due to people seeking outdoor activities during the pandemic. With more people comes more illegal use of drones, bicycles, and dogs off leashes in the reserve. All of these factors could threaten the 23 endangered species of plants and animals that live or migrate to Bolsa Chica.